Willie D. Live.
So that's one of my focuses as a victim advocate, is to not just look out for the rights and well-being of victims, but also what can we do to prevent other people from becoming victims.
What could be done in the penitentiaries while these guys are being housed instead of them just being kind of like babysit, you know? What could be done on an administrative side to give these guys more resources so that when they come out, they can feel empowered to go out there and, become productive members of society?
There's a lot of programs in prison, and there's different types of private businesses that actually go into prisons these days. And you'd be surprised at all the partnership that they have. But when a person does get released on parole, I think you've got to make sure that they have somebody that's basically, it's kind of like, the way I look at it, kind of like NAA. You got to have like a sponsor or something like that. It's going to, when it's not easy to come back and get acclimated. And so you've got to have somebody that's willing to go above and beyond and do everything you succeed. But ultimately, a lot depends on that person itself. And if that person doesn't want, then there's no programs in the world that are going to prevent somebody, from returning.
That's true.
To a life of crime, and that's just the reality. But I think you got to at least have all the options and opportunities available for someone to succeed. And if they fail, then at least you can say, we gave it everything we got, and this was your choice. On this as well. So.
Yeah, to your point, one of the most unstoppable forces known to mankind is a determined mind. That is very difficult to stop.
It was frustrating for me at times because I would see, and bottom line was I would tell people that, look, I never send anybody back to prison, number one. So strike that. You make that determination, not me. I don't do it. It's your call. I can go any way you want. I can play a bunch of different roles, but ultimately it's your destiny. You make your choices for you. I can lead you, guide you, but ultimately you got to make that call. So
let's go back. All the way back. Andy, in New York City, growing up. You growing up? What borough did you grow up in?
I grew up right outside of New York City in White Plains.
Okay, White Plains.
And then I moved to upstate New York, Rochester.
Okay.
And as I like to say, I've seen enough snow and shoveled it to last a lifetime.
Right.
So cold weather, I much prefer the warm weather.
So what's inside the house? Like, what's the dynamic? What
My
are the
dad
home
was
dynamics?
a teacher and then was an assistant. He was a principal of an inner city school in Rochester.
Okay.
So sometimes he would take me to the school. And sometimes he would open up his desk drawer and show me all the weapons that he collected.
And he confiscated.
Right, as a principal. And also I remember one summer he actually taught at a juvenile prison.
Now, this was back in the days before they had resource officers inside of the schools. How did your dad...
You didn't want to mess with my dad.
How did he pull that off? How was he able to collect the weapons, and now we need resource officers to collect the weapons?
It's a different era, different times, as you said. So you're looking back in the 70s, when he was there, and he comes from an Army background, and you did not want to mess with Harvey Kahn. That's how we pronounced our name back there. So I guess a lot of it that I get comes from from him, working in that type of field. And then when I went to college, I was looking for a college where I can major in criminal justice and criminology itself. So that's just also because I didn't have to take math, so that was a big help.
Right.